under him, we qualify for almost every tournament, FIFA organized tournament. So these are things you cannot wish away, whether you like him or not. So, and deservedly, the governor honored him, Honorable Adamu Gimba. The House
He's also from Bauchi?
Also from Bauchi.
That's the man who sponsored the bill for the NFF Act.
Absolutely. He was also he attended the event, and it was well attended. And I think that's the way to go. We should begin to honor people. Whether we like his face or not, this man has achieved. During his tenure, football rose, maturely in Nigeria. So I think whatever award he's getting, he deserves them.
Okay, let's introduce the pretty Sisi to the show tonight. Sisi, good to have you on Sports tonight.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Okay, all right. Before we come to you, you have some updates for us around the league and all of that. Before we come to you, let's just quickly touch up on the Africa Cup of Nations Group D that got concluded today. In fact, today, the final day of all group games of the Africa Cup of Nations. And not a surprise, the Evans of Cote d'Ivoire, Mas Gradel with a goal in the first half, beating Indomitable Lions 1-0, and then Mali, Guinea playing out a 1-all draw. And so let's take a look at what it looks like now for the quarterfinals, starting on Saturday, and see who is up against who in the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations. We have Congo against Congo. That's the derby. Then we have Tunisia against the host, Equatorial Guinea. Then we have Ghana against Mali or Guinea. The toss of coin will divide these two teams. Interestingly, Ghana and Guinea played from the same group during the qualifiers. And then you have Algeria against Cote d'Ivoire. What a cracker that will be, Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire. All right, so this is what it looks like in the quarterfinals of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations starting this weekend. But Sisi, let's come to you very quickly. What's the story? What's happening? The league? Okay,
definitely.
Is the league over?
It's been over since.
Okay, because some people are saying that the league is still not concluded.
No.
Adamawa Queen still have some issues.
What they had to do was to just look at the overall performance of the league last season. Okay. What happens and all that. Decided, okay, because of the resurgence in north east of Nigeria. So what they had to do was to allow Adamawa to continue in the league. So right now, no team was actually relegated.
At the end of last season?
At the end of last season. So you have 14, precisely. Now you now have 14
What about the teams that got promoted?
Teams.
Okay, so
exactly.
now 14.
Yes, because 2 were promoted, COD, and of course you have another one, White Doves also were promoted. So you have those 2 teams actually joining them. Now starting with when the league will actually start.
Okay.
The 31st of this
So you guys are beating the guys. The guys don't know when the league will start. But for the women, starting March 31?
March 31st. It was supposed to be 28th, but because some teams have not really registered, so they felt, okay, what they need to do now is to extend it by 2 weeks. So all teams must have registered by 10th of February. So, and after that, once they're able to register, then the league will now commence. And those that are not able to register at that time, they don't meet with the deadline. Then they are slots. Yeah, they are of February 10th, because they were supposed to do registration before the league will start on the 31st.
February 10, you mean?
Yes, February 10th. That's when the registration will end, because the league was supposed to have started 28th, but they needed to extend registration date by 2 weeks. So it will now end on the 10th of February. So those teams that have not registered at that time, that won't be able to register within that short time, 2 weeks and all that they've given them, their slots will be sold out. So if you want to flaunt a women's league, so you can easily get your slots.
What do you think? I think we should start a women's
it's a good idea.
Make sure you have all the money, so that all the money, wages and all that will be paid. Because what they're saying right now is, if you have not been able to sort out the wages, the payments and all that, you can't even register. So that's just one of the conditions they've given them. That's why if you're not able to meet up with the condition, this is actually the team for the season. You have FC Robo, Ibom Angels, Martins White Doves, Nasarawa Amazons, Ocean Babes, Pelican Stars, and of course the usual suspects.
Some names came up before. I think they'll come again anyway. COD Ladies also gain promotion.
Yes, they gain promotion, and Martin White Doves. Those are the 2 new teams that are joining the former 12 teams. So right now we have 14 teams. 14 teams will be on this season compared to 12 that we had before. And the reason they're really doing this is that already the league is kind of is small. You don't have much teams. So right now, you now have about 14 teams that will be participating for this season. And of course, another thing is that they will have a new logo, and of course, a new website would be launched.
Okay, so you're going corporate too?
That is it. So hopefully they can do that. Okay, these are some of the teams. Also, of course, Rivers Angels, who who finished the league on the highest. From where? State House Queens. State House Queens also from Abuja.
Okay.
And Sunshine Queens and of course
Taraba Queens.
Taraba Queens.
Queens
all
and
of them.
Angels.
Queens
and
Angels.
Babes. And Queens. Okay. It's interesting.
They're the ones. So they're going to have a website and of course a new logo and of course award nights for the best players and of course the best team. And that will be done after they must have had the Football League Congress. It's going to be on the 6th of March. So that's when they will hold that one. So that's when they now decide on when they are going to have that new logo and of course the website and also an award night, so which is also a plus. Now talking about Champion of Champions tournament, now Rivers Angels actually had the highest number of points, so automatically they won the doubles. Of course they won the league.
Ordinarily they shouldn't have been Champions of Champions, you'll have been Rivers Angels.
But what they want to do, I think the Women's League are actually trying to do something really different. So right now they may have won the league but they have just one trophy, which is the FA Cup. But right now with this Champions of Champions, now have the overall winner of the Women's League. So it's going to be between Rivers Angels and Pelican Stars.
It's going to be Rivers Angels. I don't understand. I mean,
Pelican Stars were runner-up. Remember, Pelican Stars actually had about 36 points, and Rivers Angels had 39. So it was quite close. Okay. They were runner-up. And the reason they are even participating is simply because Rivers Angels, of course, emerged winners of the league and, of course, winners of the FA Cup. So it would have been between the winners of the league and, of course, the FA Cup winners. But because they happens to be both winners, so they need to play against the runner-up for the league. So that's why you're having the Pelican Stars playing against Rivers Angels in that one.
Well, Ajishat is out of Rivers Angels now.
Yeah.
She's joined Liverpool.
Yes,
that's a big miss for the women, for Rivers Angels.
Very, very big miss. And of course, I'm even afraid, you know, when Super Falcons get to call her, there's some friendly games she might not be able to play because the league, the Women's Super League in England is going to start, you know, in March. So from now, they still have some time. That's what we're talking about. You know, the Super Falcons actually starting camp on time. Now the league is going to commence that 1st of March, and you're having some players already moving out. I think as after the first one, I'm thinking other players might even get a club before, you know, they start camp and all that. That's a possibility. Now look at China. China has opened their camp January 23rd. That's when their camp opens. It's going to end May 13th. And you know China, a big country like that, they've already started camping. And of course, they're also going to participate in a tournament in Portugal before, you know, that's late February, before the World Cup will start. For Super Falcons, we are all in limbo because at first we thought they were going to participate, you know, in Cyprus and all that, the 12-nation tournament. But we have all the countries, and if you go to their website and check it, there's no Super Falcons because the NFF is actually saying that, look, they have all African games coming up, qualifiers coming up, and of course they're thinking it might clash with it, but it definitely will not because the tournament is just 22nd to 12th of February. Or they can have two groups, like the Flying Eagles, the under-23 team. Break them into two, precisely.
So who coaches the team to Cyprus?
They can get someone. I mean, what they did, they were able to do it with under-23, right? Under-23 team are playing the same thing Super Falcons are even playing. Now, under-23 is even much.
The team broke it for invitational tournaments.
Precisely.
We can't do that for All Africa Games qualifiers.
The one for Cyprus is also invitational tournament.
But there's All Africa Games qualifier.
That All African Games qualifier is not March 12. It's much later in March, so it's not the same date.
Okay, so you
can break it because see, China actually using players. The oldest player in that 25-man list that was released for them is 26. I think we can get girls that can prosecute all African games. We can get that. We have girls in the league that can do that. Then you have the main Super Falcons that can definitely go for the Cyprus because most of the leagues are on break. So why not just take a look at that and have it? Like you've done it for under-23. You're able to get a coach who would do it and all that. So why not do it for the Super
Super Falcons? So if it's working for the boys, it should work for the girls?
It should work for them. There's a way they could have been able to do this.
All right, Sisi, thank you so much for that. Let's see what the NFF will do to that. Whether they will also break the girls into two, allow one to stay here and allow the other one to travel. And you know girls who will stay home when the other ones are out. Anyway, let's leave that for the NFF to sort out. But Sisi, I must thank you so much for your time. I must also thank you so much for your time on the show. But before I allow you guys to go, let's read a few comments on Twitter. Damola from Botswana says the teams should play penalties, no toss of coin. It won't be a good idea. Oyedi Joluwa says, Louis Figo for FIFA president? What a joke. Blatter monopoly continues until he retires. Aldrin Ativie says, for me, I would suggest you go extra 30 minutes. That's when those two teams are playing. What if they are far apart and they're not playing in the same center? What do you do? It says, no, if no winner, then you go for penalty shootout. And Louis Figo coming in, that's coming from Call Me Dex on Dex. Louis Figo coming in is a good development. Let the younger generation be given a chance, probably a good political test. That's what at IODEX 2006 is talking about. We'll go on a quick break now. Bring your highlights from Asia, and